everyone. Welcome to the Epic Vision Zone. My name is Jane Applegath, founder of the Epic Vision Zone, Conversations That Inspire. Each show, we offer you an inspiring person or message to bring you closer to your big dream by showing you how to enter the portal to possibilities, prosperity, and potential so that you can live your epic life now. Thank you for being here. And if you're listening to the audio version, make sure you follow the episode on your favorite app. And if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Rumi said, "You are not meant for crawling, so don't. You have wings. Learn to use them and fly." We're honored to be here with Dr. Noah St.John once again, who is the father of affirmations and renowned as the mental health coach to the stars. Internationally known for his signature coaching, services, and facilitating workshops for companies, teams, and organizations across the globe, Noah appears frequently in the news, including ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, Entrepreneur, Success Magazine, and much more. His 22 books have been published in 19 languages worldwide. His new publication, The Seven-Figure Life, How to Leverage the Four Focus Factors for More Wealth and Happiness, is a book he says will show readers how to instantly shatter their limiting beliefs using one simple process. And you can get a free copy of this book at sevenfigureexpert.com, which we'll be sure to post on the Epic Vision Zone bio pages. Welcome, Noah. It's a pleasure to have you with us again.
Thank you, Jane. Great to be here. And I just want to make one small correction. It's sevenfigureexpertbook.com, sevenfigureexpertbook.com.
Okay. Did I make that plural? Books?
You said sevenfigureexpert.com. That is someone else.
Okay.
I am sevenfigureexpertbook.com.
Okay. Thank you so much for correcting that. So we'll be sure to get it correct as well on the bio pages. So go ahead and grab that copy. How generous, fabulous. So what inspired you to write a book about building a seven-figure expert business?
This is something that I've been teaching my clients for over 20 years now, and it's something that I've helped using my methods. My clients have added over $3 billion in revenues since 1997, and that means I've helped coaches, consultants, course creators, experts, authors, speakers, chiropractors, health professionals, wealth managers, chiropractors, nurses, just people from dozens and dozens of walks of life to add 6 and 7 and even 8 figures to their businesses in record time while also winning their lives back. So I figured it was time to actually put it in a book form, which you have there on the screen. And this is what it looks like here. It's called The Seven-Figure Expert. Again, it's sevenfigureexpertbook.com. The book is free, and we just ask folks to cover the shipping. We ship anywhere on planet Earth. But really, it's something that I've been teaching my one-on-one and group coaching clients for many, many years now. And as I mentioned, helping people get incredible results, doubling, tripling, quadrupling their income in a very short amount of time. And so I realized it was time to put it in a book, and that's why we decided to do it.
Well, yes, I could see. I mean, you've had such success with your clients, and you're right. Time to get it out there and share the wisdom and the knowledge that you have. And speaking of that, I just wanted to mention to all of our listeners that we had an earlier interview with Noah, and we posted something that Noah has designed and created called affirmations, not affirmations. And I have to tell you, they have resonated with everybody across the spectrum, Noah. People have responded. The way that Noah approaches things, which I love, is that he will take something that's extremely popular, look at it and say, I really wonder if people are believing those affirmations that they're saying. And when you put it out there, they actually start to admit, it's really kind of crazy. I don't know. You get me to say this thing, and then you want me to believe it, and I want to believe it, but I'm really not feeling it. So affirmations are something that is all Noah, and I've got the book myself. I have to delve into it, and everybody, I'm telling you, it is a fabulous book, but it's also, I love the way that Noah approaches the coaching profession, because he'll take something that's out there and he'll dig and research to really make it resonate with everybody. So thank you for that, Noah. That was fabulous.
Oh,
So
it's an honor.
also,
Thank you. That's very kind.
oh, you're welcome. I wanted to bring that up because I know that we all struggle with some things that we're coached, and we always wonder, is there another way? So speaking of
Hmm.
that, how is this
Hmm.
book that you've just come out with different from the other books that cover similar topics?
When you look at the title, The Seven Figure Expert, everybody assumes it's all about money. And of course, money is very important, right? I talk in all of my books about the need for a balanced lifestyle. And really, the way that I've been teaching that for many years is what I call my freedom lifestyle formula, which is where you have the time, the energy, the relationships, and the money that you really want. So with my seven figure expert book, what I'm teaching you in the book and in my coaching, whether one-on-one or group coaching, is my seven figure expert formula. This is literally how to take what's in your brain and put it out into the universe and get paid for it. All right. And this is something that I wish someone would have taught me many, many, many years ago. And of course, they never did. I ended up spending over $500,000 going to all the gurus out there only to find out they can't teach their way out of a paper bag. So it took me over $500,000 in 20 years to put this together. And so the good news for you and for all the folks listening and who get the book is you don't have to take 20 years like I did. You don't have to spend $500,000 like I did, to get this kind of knowledge. So that's one of the things that makes it different. Another thing that makes it different is that I take an inside out approach to wealth. And what I mean by that is that when you get different books and stuff from other people out there and the gurus and whatever, they're really talking about marketing, 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 marketing. And of course, marketing is important, right? I mean, if we want to make money, you have to know how to market yourself, your business, your products, your services, and so forth. It's very, very important. The problem is, and this is something that I help my clients with every single day, is that most people just don't think they can do it. Right. So you can get all the marketing, training, coaching, and gurus that you want, and they're trying to shove marketing down your throat. But meanwhile, most people are sitting there saying, I don't think I can do it. And that means, of course, they don't do it. I'll give you a real life example. So I have a program. It's a group coaching program called the 12-Week Breakthrough, where I help people double their income and double their time off in just 12 weeks. And so one of the clients that I'm working with right now in the class is a real estate professional from Pennsylvania. And she had been, frustrated with all these other coaches and gurus that she'd had before, was, not making the money that she wanted to be making, and kept hitting that, as I call it, the income ceiling, right? You just keep hitting that ceiling no matter what you do. You keep banging your head on that ceiling no matter how hard you try. Well, what happened is that, she joined my 12-week breakthrough coaching program. And in the first 5 weeks, I taught her my seven-figure expert formula that I talk about in the book and that I give you. And in one day, she actually just sent me an email last week. And she said, Noah, because of what you taught me, I raised $185,000 in private money in one day. One day, $185,000. Now, just to give you some clarification, my coaching doesn't cost $185,000. So she got a pretty huge ROI on that coaching. And it was just, I love, love, love hearing stories like that from my clients, because that is what shows you that it really works. And it's a system that anybody can do.
Wow, it sounds amazing. Well, speaking of that,
Mm-hmm.
how do you do it? It segues perfectly into the question that I have
Mm-hmm.
here: making money, more money in 12 weeks. So, can you give us some insight
Right.
into the how? Because I'm sure everyone would love to know how.
Oh, absolutely. So just to show you, in all of my books, I always use a lot of diagrams and pictures and things like that, because the human mind actually works in pictures. So you can see here, as I'm flipping the pages here of the book, there's lots of pictures and diagrams, and that's because we humans like to, we remember things in pictures and diagrams and so on. So right in the book, I give you my seven-figure expert formula, which is a 5-phase formula, and it comes from the inside out. So that's what I was mentioning a moment ago. One of the things that makes my coaching and my books and trainings different is that we take an inside out approach. So in other words, what everybody's doing is they're shoving marketing down your throat saying, hey, listen, if you want to make more money, then all you need to do is spend more money on Facebook ads. Really? That's the answer? I mean, it's like, what? And I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that's basically like step 72, of the process, where you're like so far down the road and you've lost everybody basically, before you even open your mouth. So the point is, what I do is the way that we help people double their income and double their time off is that 7-figure expert formula. So what I've been teaching for over 25 years now is the intersection of inner game and outer game. All right. Now, inner game is everything that happens between your ears, and you can't see it directly, but it affects everything that you do. So, in my coaching, whether it's one-on-one coaching, group coaching, or even in my keynote presentations, one of the things that I'll ask my clients and my audience members is, what's one area of your life where your beliefs don't affect you? And of course, people go like this. They go, and I say, exactly. There's no place your beliefs don't affect you, right? Your beliefs affect your health, your wealth, your happiness, your stress level, your relationships, right? Your weight. I mean, your beliefs affect everything. But here's the funny thing about it is you can't see a belief. You can only see the effects of a belief. And also, you could be doing really well in one area of your life, but maybe you're stuck or struggling in another. For example, maybe, your business is going great, but maybe your health is suffering, or vice versa. Maybe, you're very mentally healthy and whatever, but, you're not making the money you want, or what. You see what I mean? So it's very personalized and customized what we do. It's not cookie cutter, one size fits all, like what you see with a lot of other programs out there. So that's the inner game, but then we also have the outer game. And then I teach the outer game as well. And that's where you have the offers, the funnels, and the traffic that you need to make money online. So I've been making money online for over 25 years and teaching people how to make money online for, more than 20 years. And the point is, really, nobody in the industry has more case studies and success stories than me. And the reason that I do that is because I'd rather talk about my client's success than my success. What you see in this industry is personality-driven success versus system-driven success. So personality-driven success is exactly what it sounds like, right? It's all about that guru's personality. But the question that I always have is, well, what if I don't have that personality? They're showing you their car, their boat, their helicopter, their private jet, and that's all great, but it's all about them. And my question is always, well, have you helped anyone else make money? Because who cares about you, right? We should care about ourselves, right? Everybody cares about themselves and our, money and what we're going to do for our legacy and our family. Not, I don't care about your jet or your helicopter, right? And so that's the point. That's personality-driven success. So system-driven success, that's what I teach, because it's a system that works for anyone. That's why we take the inside-out approach, and that's one of the reasons that makes this different from what's out there.
Yes, absolutely. Because when a client comes to coaches, they won't say it out loud, or maybe some will, but they'll go, what's in it for me? That's also a marketing gift, because often we market the process, but not what the results will be. Because as a coach, you're in it to enroll people in their future. So
That's
how
right.
do we enroll people in their future is we tell them, or we help them, like you said, from the inside out. And yes, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. If you do not believe that you can reach that, or whatever it is that you're looking for, whatever your dream or your aspirations might be, if you do not believe it from the inside, it's not going to happen. You might sabotage yourself in ways that you're completely unconscious of doing, which leads me to ask you the unconscious habits of highly successful people. What do you mean by that?
Yes, this is one of the things that I've been teaching for over 25 years now, and I'm known as the Power Habits Coach. I mean, because I invented, created, systematized this system. And so what I realized many years ago is that highly successful people, what I call the one percenters, are doing things unconsciously that they don't even know they're doing, number one, and therefore, number two, they can't teach you. So think about this. If you're unconscious at something, right, you're doing a new habit. So whenever we humans want to master a new habit, we always go through these 4 phases. The first phase is unconscious incompetence. That means you don't know you don't know. The second stage is conscious incompetence. That means you don't know. The third stage is conscious competence, which is you know. And then the final stage is unconscious competence, which is you do without thinking. It's like driving a car, right? All of us had to go through those 4 stages in order to drive a car, right? First, you didn't know how to drive a car. Then you learned how to drive it, or then you realized you didn't know how to drive a car. Then you learned how to drive a car. And now today, probably for most folks listening to the program, you're doing it without even thinking about it. And there's dozens of things that you do that every single day. Well, what I realized 25 years ago is that highly successful people are doing these unconscious habits that actually allow them to succeed to a very high level. And they don't even know they're doing it. So what many people say and have said about my work is that my work starts where Napoleon Hill's left off. So I'm sure most people listening to this program are familiar with Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, which was written over a century ago, where he interviewed all these guys and say, how did you become successful? Well, you do this, 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 and this. Okay, well, how come 30 million people have read that book and not everybody is successful? Because of what I'm saying right now. They left out all the good stuff. So they left out all the part, which is like the lower part of the iceberg, right? So if you think about success like an iceberg, about 5% is visible above the surface. Well, that's the conscious habits. That's what they tell you. Well, do this, 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 and this. And you're like, well, I tried all that. And why didn't it work? And what I say, and this is what I show my clients, whether it's, one-on-one or group coaching, is they left out the 95%. That's the whole point of why you're stopping yourself from the success you're capable of. I'll give you a perfect example of this. Another one of my clients who joined my 12-week breakthrough program, her name is Tamisa. She's an entrepreneur out in Arizona. And she's a self-proclaimed seminar junkie. That's what she called herself before she came to me. And now she's a recovered seminar junkie. She was going to all these seminars, all the gurus, spending all this money, but she just kept hitting that income ceiling. Now, she was making 6 figures, so she's doing well, but she knew she could do a lot better, right? But just no matter how many seminars she went to, how many gurus she paid, she just couldn't break through that ceiling. So she joined my 12-week breakthrough program, and in 2 weeks, she tripled her investment. 2 weeks. She tripled her investment. We hadn't even gotten to the money part yet. And you can watch her video on our website, and you can see tons and tons of other case studies. But my point is that it's because of this, exactly what I'm saying right now. It's all of these unconscious habits that those guys are never going to tell you because they don't even know they're doing it.
Right. So your system helps bring those to the surface, or you like you said, there's those 4 different areas. So exactly. Yeah. It's the awareness, right? Once you're aware, then you can address it. So absolutely.
That's right. And thinking about, or going back to my point of the iceberg principle, right, of human consciousness, only about 5% of our thoughts, behaviors, and actions are conscious. That's like the top part of the iceberg, right? The part you can see above the surface of the water. Well, the vast 95% of our thoughts, behaviors, and actions every day are in the unconscious or subconscious, meaning it's below the surface. That means you can't see it. And I'll give you an analogy. So imagine that you're in your home right now. For the folks listening, imagine you're in your home and someone comes in and turns off all the lights and shuts the drapes, and it's completely dark, right? So you can't see anything, and it's just totally dark. And then they say to you, okay, now I want you to rearrange the furniture. And you're like, well, I can't see, right? And then they say to you, well, come on, get motivated. Believe in yourself. You can do it. Set your goals. You see what they're doing? They're trying to psych you up, and you're like, but I can't see, right? And so they're like, come on. And they're like, fine. All right. Then you try to move it, like, boom, you hit your shin, and man, I hit the coffee table, and I can't see what I'm doing. So what I do is I come into your home and I go, click. And I turn the lights on, I open the drapes, and then I say, and you're like, oh, now I can see what I'm doing. And I say, would you like to rearrange the furniture now? Yeah, okay, well, now I can see what I'm doing. And ironically, it's exactly like that, because one of my clients actually said this to me many years ago when I first started coaching people. And he actually said this. He said, Noah, as we were doing this work and as you're coaching me through this process, it's like you turned a light on in a room that has been dark my whole life. And I realized when he said that, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what it's like. In fact, that is precisely what it is. And that's why I came up with that illustration, because that's what they're doing. They're literally telling you to rearrange the furniture in a room that's totally dark. And then they make you feel bad because you can't move the furniture, when the real problem is you just can't see what you're doing. So when I come in and turn on the lights, that's why people will get, as I like to call it, hockey stick growth. Like Tamisa was just telling about, tripling her investment in 2 weeks and, making $185,000 in a day. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And this is one of the reasons why.
I love that analogy. So to play with that analogy, are you, one of the things you're rearranging are on the inner is the beliefs, your beliefs?
That's where we start. We start with beliefs, because everything starts with your beliefs. Everything in your life is formed by your beliefs. So there's 2 things that happen that we can't control in our lives. And that is our circumstances and our results. So if you think about it, it's like a progression. Okay, so we have the circumstances of our life. So I'll give you an example. A perfect example is a global pandemic. All right, so a global pandemic happened. There was nothing anybody could really do about that. I mean, nobody caused it per se. I'm not going to get into the whole, conspiracy theories and everything. The point is, all 8 billion of us had to deal with this pandemic, and some people didn't deal with it very well, and some people dealt with it very well. In other words, some people made a ton of money while others lost everything. So what's the difference, right? What's the difference is the middle part. So you have the circumstance, and then you have your thoughts about the circumstance. Your thoughts lead to your emotions lead to your actions, and your actions lead to your results. And so the point is, we can't control circumstances, and we can't really control results. Now, lots of people would like to say, but you can control results. No, you can't. When you're on a sales call, let's say, you're a coach or you're a sales professional. When you're on a sales call, can you make that person buy? No, you can't make anybody do anything, right? Another analogy, I work with athletes and coach athletes, and, there's 32 teams in the NFL. And every single player and every coach on every team in the NFL at the beginning of the season wants to win the Super Bowl. Well, guess what? Only one team wins the Super Bowl. And don't you think they'd all like to control that outcome and control that result and win the Lombardi Trophy? You can't do it. Even the greatest player of all time, Tom Brady, didn't win every Super Bowl that he could have played in or did play in. So do you see what I'm saying? So the point is that we've got to learn how to control our thoughts, because our thoughts, which is another way of saying your beliefs lead to your emotions, and your emotions control your actions. So, unless you're a Vulcan or an android, you realize that, yes, we humans are controlled by our emotions, and that's what controls our actions. And your actions, of course, lead to your results. But even still, you still can't control your results. But when you start to master these, as I call it, your inner game, that's when you start to get better and better and better and better results over time. And sometimes it can happen very, very quickly.
I love that. That really opens the door. I call it the dimmer switch. Like you were saying, the dark room. So you're elevating the dimmer switch of your life. You're taking it from the lowest level to the highest level, so that you can, yes, absolutely. Well, speaking of the different avenues and your thoughts and your emotions, knowing your why. This is going definitely on the inner game, I believe. And you say, when you find your why, you'll find the way. Give us some secrets to finding your why.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about that, and it's very important. But what people miss is the other half of the equation. And so in every human endeavor, there are always 2 forces at work, the driving force and the restraining force. The driving force is the force inside of you, your emotions, that are driving you towards your goal. But the restraining forces inside of you are the things that are holding you back from reaching your goal. So it's exactly like driving your car, right? In your car, you have those 2 same forces, the driving force of your foot on the gas and the restraining force of your foot on the brake. So imagine if you have a goal, which is to go to the grocery store and pick up some groceries, right? And so you get in your car and you drive to the grocery store. But imagine if, as you're driving to the grocery store, you unconsciously have developed the habit of driving with one foot on the brake. How long is it going to take you to reach your goal? It's going to take you a long time. In fact, you might never get there, even if it's right down the street, because you have one foot on the brake and one foot on the gas. So what everybody else out there is doing, what the gurus are doing, is saying, step on the gas harder. Get motivated, set your goals. You can do it. Think positive. Okay, that's nothing wrong. They didn't say anything wrong. There's nothing wrong with positive thinking. There's nothing wrong with all that stuff. But my point, and this is one of the reasons I've helped my clients make $3 billion, is what if you have your other foot on the brake? Have you ever thought of that? And most people go, well, no, I didn't know I had my foot on the brake. And so what happens is the gurus out there, they go like this. So let's say you're like, geez, I'm not reaching my goals. And so guru number one comes up to you and they say, well, you know what you need? You need to put a more expensive type of gas in your car. That's your problem. So you go to the gas station, put more expensive gas in, but you still have your foot on the brake, so you're still getting the same result. Guru number two comes along and says, well, you need to get a more expensive brand of tires. So you go to the tire store, buy more expensive tires, spending more money, get back in your car, but you're still doing the same habit, you get the same result. Guru number three comes along and says, listen, you need a new car, right? Look at my cool sports car. I've got a really expensive European sports car. You should get one like me. And you're like, oh my God, all right. So you go, buy a really expensive sports car, which your car was perfectly fine, by the way, and you get a new sports car, spend all this money, but you still have one foot on the brake. So what I do that's different is I come up to you and I say, did you know you have your foot on the brake? And you're like, no. And I say, well, do you know if you get your foot off the brake, you'll actually reach your goals like 10 times faster with actually using less effort? And you say, really? And I go, yeah, this is how I help people double their income and double their time off in less than 12 weeks. And they go, where do I sign? So that's the point is it's so much easier. Life, business, everything, relationships, your health, everything's easier. All you have to do is get your foot off the brake.
So is getting your foot off the brake the why? I'm kind of confused now.
So your why is the driving force. Okay. The why. But what's amazing is most people already have that. Everybody knows why you want to succeed. So I ask people, well, why do you want to succeed? Well, duh. I mean, I want more money. I want to, spend more time with my family. I want to take more vacations, right? Everybody knows about that. And then I say, okay, that's great. Now, why do you think your foot's on the brake? And they're like, I don't know. And I say, well, and that's what my power habit system is all about. My power habit system, again, going back to my point I made a moment ago, the power habits of unconsciously successful people. So when you look at these 1%ers, these highly successful people, they don't have their foot on the brake. So how could someone who's never had their foot on the brake teach you how to get your foot off the brake? The answer is they can't. That's why it took me, the nerdiest nerd in the industry, the guy who had his foot on the brake, right, more than anybody, I had to come up with, create, and systematize the system to take your foot off the brake. So your foot on the gas is the why to. Everybody's got that. Everybody knows about that. Of course, why I want to succeed, duh. Oh, I never thought about my foot on the brake. So I'll give you a perfect example of this. I was actually speaking at an event in Los Angeles to a group of entrepreneurs, about 1,000 entrepreneurs. These are 6, 7, 8-figure earners, so very successful people. I just finished speaking about literally talking exactly like what I'm talking about with you right now. And a man came out of the audience and literally right after I was done speaking, he basically ran up to me and he said, Noah, I want you to coach me. You are the coach that I've been looking for. Now, I didn't know this man from Adam. Ironically, his name was Adam. And so I said, what's going on? He said, well, Noah, we're stuck at 7 figures. We're doing well, but I know we can do way better. And we've been stuck at 7 figures for 4 years. And I've hired everybody, every guru out there. I spent all this money on all this marketing stuff. But everything you just said about inner game, outer game, your foot on the brake, head trash, affirmations, he said, I know you were the coach I've been looking for. He hired me on the spot. That's why I love working with high achievers, right? They make decisions quickly and firmly. I coached him for 2 years. And that 2 years, we were able to take his company from 7 figures to over $20 million in sales, a 600% increase in less than 2 years. And the primary reason for that was because of what I'm talking about right now. I showed him how to get his foot off the brake. In fact, you can watch his video on my website. His name's Adam, and you can just see it or go on YouTube. And he'll say that, everybody else out there is telling you to step on the gas harder. But what Noah does that's different is he shows you how to stop stopping yourself from success and how to get your foot off the brake.
Right, right. I love that.
600%.
Yes. Stop stopping yourself. Absolutely.
That's right.
And the thing is that the unconsciousness is that we're not aware that we're stopping ourselves.
Exactly.
Like you said,
That's
we're not even aware that that's what we're doing. But given the work that you do, you're like, okay, you told me this story. You're stopping yourself. And they go, oh, wow, you're right. So
that's
fabulous.
Right. But see, in my coaching, whether it's one-on-one or group coaching, I actually walk you through the system. It's not just telling you, because I was telling you about the woman who raised 185,000 in one day, right? And that's what she told me, is that, everybody else out there tells you, well, believe in yourself. Come on, you can do it. But they never give you the process of actually believing in yourself. So, I'm sitting there many years ago, everybody says, believe in yourself. Oh, the secret to success, believe in yourself. I'm sitting in the back going, but I don't believe in myself. What am I supposed to do? And of course they never tell you. And that's what I realized, or, what I found through 20 plus years of coaching, is most people don't believe in themselves. Most people are like me, or like I was, like, we don't believe in ourselves, and there's no one there to believe in you, number one. And number two, there's no one to show you how to believe. There is actually a process of doing that they never tell you. And so, Catherine, my client, that's how it worked for her. And she was able to take everything that she'd already learned, package it up, and finally do it. And even in her email, she said, I believe in me now. I finally believe in me. And that's how I was able to raise $185,000 in one day.
Yes, absolutely. You completely change your energy when you believe in yourself and you believe what you're doing. Right. Yeah, absolutely. Right. And that's what resonates.
But it's not enough to just say, believe in yourself. That's not enough. You got to actually get to the system.
Exactly. Yes. No, if it were that easy, no one would need coaches. We'd all
That's right. Exactly.
Super successful.
That's right.
Believe in yourself.
That's
okay,
right.
Great. Let's go and
make got it. Oh, thanks a lot. Yeah, exactly.
Thanks. So iconic, you give us a little insight into your iconic MAPS. It's spelled MAPSSS method.
Yes.
Tell us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I definitely talk about that in the book here on traffic. So again, 7figureexpertbook.com. The book is free. 7figureexpertbook.com. The book is free. Just cover the shipping. But so, yeah, we talk about that in my 7-figure traffic formula. So my 7-figure traffic formula includes my MAPS method. So that stands for there's only 6 ways to drive traffic, right? If you ask any business owner, any expert, coach, course creator, and you ask them, what's your biggest problem? Almost everybody will say leads. I don't have enough traffic. I need more traffic. I need more leads. And they're not wrong. They're also not really right either. So that's why this is actually the last thing that we do, because for most entrepreneurs and experts and coaches and authors and speakers, yes, of course, you need more leads. Every business does. And I understand that leads are the lifeblood of any business. But that's actually really not the first thing you need. And it's certainly not the thing that's holding you back, even though you might think it is. But anyway, so I started teaching it, because, of course, people were begging me to do so. So anyway, my MAPS method is very simple. There's only 6 ways to drive traffic and get leads. And MAPS stands for media, affiliates, pay-per-click, speaking, SEO, and social media. That's it. So I walk you through that in the book, but very briefly, media is just like we're doing right now, podcasts, TV, radio, newspapers, magazines, and all, the media that we know about. And of course, every one of us, if you're an expert, you need to be your own media, right? You need to have your own YouTube channel, probably have your own podcast, and lots of other things like that. So we talk about all that. Then affiliate marketing, right? Affiliate marketing is wonderful because you have affiliates that are telling other people about how great your stuff is, right? So affiliate marketing works as a two-way street. You can have affiliates who are promoting your programs and services, and you can promote other people's programs and services. Like my client, Catherine, in fact, after I helped her, raise $185,000, she actually changed her website. And on her website, it says, the secret to my success. I didn't know she was going to do this. She actually showed me on the class. And she said, Noah, can you go to this page? It said, the secret to my success. And it was all about Noah St. John. So I was very humbled. It was really sweet. So the point is, she's one of my affiliates, right? So that's why affiliate marketing is wonderful. Then you have pay-per-click marketing, which is something that I've already talked about. And the fact is, I argue that pay-per-click is the last thing that most entrepreneurs and experts should do. It's the first thing that all the gurus say, because guess what? They're spending tons of money and they have tons of money to spend. But what if you don't have all that money? It really isn't the first thing you should do. In fact, for most folks, it's the last thing you should do. I'm not saying anything bad about it. I'm just saying until you have your numbers dialed in, boy, it sure is easy to lose money doing pay-per-click marketing. Then you have speaking, which is wonderful. I talk about the different ways that you can speak and make money and drive leads. Then SEO, which of course is a very long game, and it's frankly very complicated and really hard. It used to be a lot easier when I started in the 90s. I was number one for fear of success for years, just because I put up one article on fear of success. People go to Google, type in fear of success, and I'd come up number one. Well, unfortunately, there's a lot more competition these days, so it's a lot harder. But still, SEO is wonderful, and I drive thousands of leads every month for my SEO efforts. And then, of course, social media marketing, all the Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and so forth. So it's a lot, And here's what I just want to say about my MAPS method: you don't have to do all of them. Some people start freaking out and their eyes glaze over, deer in the headlights. It's like, oh my God, I got to do all that. You don't have to do all of them. If you just do one, like if you get really, really, really good at one, you can make a ton of money. You can certainly get to 7 figures, certainly a healthy 6 figures with just one area of my MAPS method. Now, if you want to get to, the high 7s and so forth, you might need to add 2 or 3 or 4, but you certainly don't need to do them all. So, that's why I laid out my MAPS method, because I wish someone would have taught me this, 20 years ago. I'd be a gazillionaire by now if anybody would have ever told me this stuff a long time ago.
Yes, absolutely. It's the options that you have. And you're right. I mean, right. Today it's such a different world than it was in the old days. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, the old days, but it's true. I mean, and because of those options, it can get overwhelming, especially if you're uncomfortable or you're not used to it, et cetera, et cetera. But, it's great that you've actually made it available. These are what the best options that you can have. And then, like you said, choose one and maybe find someone to help you with that, so that you're not overwhelmed and you can do what you do best, which is your coaching or your product business, whatever it is. But yeah, absolutely. That's right. That makes it easy. So it's wonderful that you've lined it all up for everybody. Now, you say that mindset isn't enough to get to the 7 figures success. Can you explain that a little more? Because I know we've been talking about the inner, and you were saying the thoughts and the beliefs. So mindset isn't enough. Oh, is that going back then to the mass or the MAPS thing, or what does that mean?
Yeah, well, that's part of it. So when you look at what I call inner game and outer game, and this is what I teach people in my one-on-one coaching and group coaching and my online courses, you have to master both your inner game and your outer game. Now, I've helped my clients add over $3 billion over the last 20 plus years. 90% of that has come from my helping them master their inner game. So inner game is absolutely huge and has absolutely led to, me helping my clients double their income and double their time off. However, you also need to do your outer game. So you have to dial in your offers, funnels, and traffic in the ways like I was just describing. Otherwise, you're going to be what I call a highly evolved broke person. And I was that person for a long time. I was highly evolved, but I wasn't making any money because no one had taught me, what I teach you in the book and in my coaching now. And that's, it was really bad because I paid all those gurus all that money only to find out they can't teach their way out of a paper bag. So, it's really tough out there because there's so many gurus and they're all telling you what other thing, and there's always a new shiny object, right? And that's what a lot of people really have trouble with, is that shiny object syndrome. There's always a new fad, always a new gimmick every single week, and it's really tough for people to focus. So people ask me all the time, Noah, how have you written 24 books? And I always answer the same way, by writing them. Right. So if you really want to focus and if you want to hit that multiple 6 or 7 or even 8 figures, you have to. Mindset is not enough. Mindset isn't even, I don't even teach mindset. I teach beliefs and habits. So I don't even like that term mindset, because the way that's been used now, it's been bastardized and it's really been watered down so much that, frankly, I think it doesn't even mean anything anymore. So I prefer talking about beliefs and habits. Like I was talking about, your thoughts lead to your emotions, lead to your actions. Well, those are your habits, your beliefs and your habits. And then, yes, we have to still dial in your offers, your funnels, and traffic. And that's where the rubber meets the road. And that's where, yes, you're able to scale to that multiple 6 or 7 or even 8 figures. So that's why I do say that mindset is not enough.
Right. Yes, absolutely. I could see that. And then in that case, you just said prioritizing your time and your focus. How does your program actually help people do that?
Well, That's the number one thing that people come to me complaining about. And they say, Noah, I'm having so much trouble focusing. There's so many things coming at me every day. I've got too much to do and too little time. And there's always a new shiny object. And I don't know where to start. And I don't know who to trust. I don't know who to listen to. And it's really, really hard. And yeah, it's just getting noisier and noisier and noisier. And we all know that. And so, that's one of the things that I, help my clients with, is to really be able to focus on what is going to move the needle. I'll give you a great example of that. I was talking with one of my clients named Charles, and I asked him, I said, how much do you think it's going to cost you if we don't get this in place for you this year? And without missing a beat, he said $1 million. I'm easily going to lose out on $1 million this year, Noah, if we don't get this in place. So I said to him, well, why don't you just give me 10% of that $1 million, and I will find you that $1 million in the next 12 months. In other words, if you give me $1 and I give you $10 back, is that a good deal? He goes, yeah, that's a good deal. So he paid me, $100K. That's $100,000. That's 10% of $1 million, right? So I coached him one-on-one for a year. And in that year, well, it turns out I didn't find him $1 million in 12 months. Instead, I found him $1.8 million in just 10 months. So he gave me $1. I gave him $18 back. Is that a good deal? No, that's a great deal. And he actually emailed me and he said, Noah, guess where I am I'm on a 7-week vacation with my wife. We just bought a new RV with all this money we've got now. And because we've installed these systems that you taught me, not only do I have more money than ever before, I also have more time than ever before. So I've never been able to take 7 weeks off before. And he said, thank you. So I said, you're welcome. Anyway, but that's really what can happen. So that's why it's so important to make sure that you have these systems in place, and yes, that you're not distracted by all the shiny objects out there, because that's never going to stop.
Yes, absolutely. When you're focused, that's when they say you're in flow, and
That's
when
right.
you do that, you get that particular project or whatever it is that you're focusing on, you complete it. And you
That's
have
right.
to almost train your mind to put the chatter, like when you're working on something, go, oh my gosh, I have to do this, I have to go get that, and that's the stuff that makes you frustrated and overwhelmed, because you're not
That's right.
just shutting down all the other programs that are running. It's almost like you think of it as a computer. It's right. You have to
That's right.
shut down all the other programs that are running in order to focus and let the energy come to that one project, and then you can move on to the next. It's exactly what we do for the show here. I clear my computer of all the programs that are running so
Mm-hmm.
that it comes through clear and there's no static. So that's what we're doing
You
on the
got it.
inside to create the focus. And when you focus, you actually make yourself, you have more time. Yeah, absolutely.
That's exactly.
Yeah,
You got it.
it's really powerful. Where can we find out more about your coaching programs?
Yes, if you go to breakthroughwithnoah.com, very easy to remember. I'm known as the Breakthrough Coach. So go to breakthroughwithnoah.com and you can watch an 11-minute video training that I did, which gives you a great overview of how my coaching is different and what makes it different. And then you can also see dozens and dozens of case studies and examples like the ones that I've been sharing with you, of people who I've helped to double, triple, quadruple their income in less than a year, adding 6 and 7 and 8 figures while winning their lives back. So go to breakthroughwithnoah.com, and then you can also book a breakthrough consultation with me or one of my coaches there at breakthroughwithnoah.com.
Great. Everyone needs to take advantage of that. So we'll have that again on the Epic Vision Dome bio pages. And based on your new publication, the 7-Figure Expert book, what critical takeaway do you want people to have?
I just want people to know that I developed a system to get you to that multiple 6 or 7 or even 8 figures if you want. The 7-Figure Expert is just, when I talk to people, when I'm coaching people, that 7-figure, milestone is just like, that's the goal, right? That's the goal for millions and millions of experts, entrepreneurs, coaches, course creators, chiropractors, health professionals, real estate professionals. I mean, I've helped every, just literally dozens of industries. So I just want folks to know that there is a system and you just need to take advantage of it. Just make sure you employ it. Just use it. I've laid it all out for you. I've done all the grunt work. I've done all the heavy lifting. I had to spend over $500,000 years and 20 years of my life going to all these gurus who can't teach their way out of a paper bag. So I've saved you all that time, money, and effort, and you're welcome. But anyway, yeah, just go to sevenfigureexpertbook.com and make sure you just take advantage of this book, this offer. And yeah, and then if you want my help, or if you want help from one of my coaches, just go to breakthroughwithnoah.com and we will actually help you put this in place for your business so you can literally double your income and double your time off in record time.
Well, there you go. There's no excuses now. Just go there and get some work done, right? Get the focus and the time and place and your habits and your your habits and your beliefs, and you'll start soaring. Because absolutely, that's why I like that Rumi quote about that you've got the wings, so learn to fly. That's what Noah is going to teach you how to do. So thank you again, Noah, for joining us here today. I love your energy. I love your coaching. I love your affirmations, which everyone needs to get a copy of. Absolutely. These are perfect. And also, again, for information, be sure to go to the Epic Vision Zone bio pages where all of Noah's links will be available to you, and go to his social media and be sure to follow me on Instagram at Jane Applegath. And don't forget to connect with me at janeapplegath.com, where you can access your free download, The Keys to Your Dreams. Sending you much love and success. This is the Epic Vision Zone, transforming your dreams into epic success.